Oh, Babylon's Fall, why does it have to be like this? It's really sad when your anticipated game turns out to be not good and disappointing, and that's what I felt when I played Babylon's Fall. Hello everyone, welcome to the gaming area with me Theo. So for the past week I've been playing Babylon's Fall, and today in this video I will gonna give you my review of the game. Thanks to Square Enix for providing me with the review code of Babylon's Fall. Okay, Babylon's Fall is a new action RPG and hack and slash game from Platinum Games and published by Square Enix. You know about Platinum Games, right? They are the ones that giving us many great games such as Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Bayonetta series, and Nier Automata. For me, Platinum Games is a developer that gave birth to many great hack and slash games, thus when they announced Babylon's Fall, I was pretty excited for the game, hoping that the game would be another banger from them. Same with Marvel's Avengers though, I was really hoping that this game would be a single player focused game, but unfortunately, Babylon's Fall is a live service game. To be honest, I had a fear that the game would not be good due to this game being the first live service game from Platinum Games, but still I want to play the game first before judging it myself. Fast forward to March 2022, Babylon's Fall is finally released and I can play the game myself. So after playing the game for more than 30 hours and beat the main story of the game, I could say that this game is rough, repetitive, and have some problems that made me couldn't able to enjoy the game for a long period of time. I really wanted to enjoy playing Babylon's Fall, but unfortunately this game is not good. First, let's talk about the visuals of Babylon's Fall that is obviously being talked and criticized by many gamers and reviewers across the internet. The graphics of the game is nothing special, and when the people say that the graphics looks like an old gen game, for me it's true. It's really like an old gen game, and plus with the addition of oily visual arts, it's making the visual looks even weirder and looks bad. But still, to be honest, for me the graphics doesn't really matter as long as the gameplay is fun, and after playing the game for a few hours, I was just used to its visuals and doesn't really care with the oily filter. So even though the visuals look like an old gen game with weird oily visuals, it didn't really disturb my gameplay at all. Next, the story and the characters. In the story, you are a sentinel, a chosen one kinda hero that has a task to climb the Babylon Tower to seek truth, and along the way you must defeat the enemies and the boss in each force in order to reach the top. While the premise of the story is interesting, how they deliver the story and introduce the characters are just not good, making it not engaging and interesting for me to see. The very first problem for me in the story would be the cutscene. There are two different types of cutscenes in this game to tell the story, the normal cutscenes, and the other one is a slideshow cutscenes with still images for the majority of the story. For me, that slideshow cutscenes is just weird and not appealing at all to tell the story about what happened in the game. Another thing that made me couldn't able to care and invest more with the story is the characters themselves. Your character and side characters are just bland, not memorable, with uninteresting personality and voices. Also, watch this scene.
3 souls have returned to us from the cruel depths of Tartarus! Praises to Jupiter!
That scene really made me laugh so hard because of the voice of that character, and that's the first voice that I heard when I played the game for the first time. After that, I just decided to change the dub into Japanese dub because the English dub is just not good for me. So yeah, to be perfectly honest, I wanted to skip the story, but it is unfortunately tied to your character progression and the game modes. So you must continue to finish the main story of the game to unlock more game modes and your lock accessories, which is kind of frustrating because the story, the characters, and how they deliver the story are just not good, boring, and frustrating to see and watch. Now, let's talk about the gameplay and the combat. If there's one thing that is good and make the game at least enjoyable, it's definitely the combat. Thank God the combat in this game is quite fun and decent for me. You can equip 4 weapons, 2 weapons as your light and heavy attack weapons, and the other 2 are your spectral weapons that you can use thanks to your Gideon Coffin. It's easy to learn the combat and the movesets in this game to make some flashy and deadly moves to defeat the enemies. The combat keeps getting fun and better once you equip much better gears and weapons that comes with buffs and enemy debuffs. The combat feels good and enjoyable once you're on high power level with at least rare and legendary gears and weapons. There are also accessories and race-specific Gideon Coffin skills that you can use to strengthen your character during your fight with the enemies. However, there are some things in the game that make the game a bit frustrating and repetitive. First, because you will get better gears and equipment not early in the game, the early combat experience will be really boring and frustrating for the first few hours after playing the game for the first time. Second, why the game locks our gears and equipment during the matchmaking and the mission. Babylon's Fall is literally the first live service game that I played that locked up our gears and equipment during the matchmaking and mission. For me, it's so wrong because the game locks the gears and equipment so that we couldn't able to change different playstyle during the missions, which will eventually make the game more repetitive. Why can't they just unlock it so I can change my gears in the middle of the mission? So if we get bored with the playstyle that we're currently on, or if it's not suitable with the mission, we can change our weapon and gears to get a different and suitable playstyle. It's just so wrong to lock our equipment during a mission. Adding more to that problem, this game also needs more type of enemies, especially the normal ones and the mini bosses. Another thing that might become a problem is that the weapons in this game are quite limited. There are only 4 types of weapons that you can currently use. I hope they will add more weapons in this game like crossbow, daggers, guns, spear, and axe to the game to add more new weapon playstyle. So that's my review of the gameplay of the game. Next, another good things that I can talk about this game is the background music is quite good, even though it's not memorable as Nier series. The port and the performance of the game is also good. I got 0 crash during my 30 hours of gameplay. I played the game on my GTX 1650 Super PC most of the time and got more than 60 FPS on high presets and 1080p resolution, which is good. So that's my review of Babylon's Fall. My final verdict for the game is, for a full price $60 game, Babylon's Fall is not worth the money with many problems that the game currently have, especially when the game is released 1 week after Elden Ring, which is also a $60 game. I rather recommend you to buy Elden Ring instead of Babylon's Fall, even though Elden Ring is a Soulsborne game and a much harder game than Babylon's Fall. Elden Ring is worth the money because you'll get much better story, more beautiful graphics and visuals, and more content that you can do compared to Babylon's Fall. If you have a tight budget, I recommend you to buy Babylon's Fall when it's on sale or when this game got more content, new boss, new enemy varieties, and new weapons. I read some news and interviews from the devs that they already planned for 4 seasons for Babylon's Fall, and with each season we will get new content. With the Season 1 that is currently going on right now, the game will add a new type of weapon called Labrys that is basically an axe from what I can see from the Season 1 roadmap image. We will also get a new story, new faction, new gears, and new bosses to fight, which are quite exciting. Even so, the game is quite disappointing for me and it's not in a good state right now. Because this game is a live service game, I hope Babylon's Fall will become much better in the future and the publisher and the developer will keep supporting the game and they will add more content to the game and make the game better. For now, you can skip Babylon's Fall because it's not worth the $60 prices. So that's it from me today. What do you think of Babylon's Fall? Did you enjoy the game? Let me know in the comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the gaming area. See you in the next video.